So, sir, just recently, our state education minister, Mr. Rakam Sangma, had said that almost 99% of the colleges in Meghalaya has started implementing the NEP. So, do you think that those colleges that were previously opposing the implementation of the same have now succumbed to this pressure?
Okay, thank you for inviting the MCTA. Now, first thing, I was one of the panelists said that, with regard to neoliberations, with globalization, privatization coming in, and now education being a, goods sector which is open to everyone. And I think young guys knows that, the sponsor of the Indian cricket team is Bijus. So anyone who's doing well in the commercial sector really sponsors the Indian team. So Bijus is basically, privatization of education. So that is already happening and has been happening since I think Manipal was started by a long time ago by Professor Pai. So that is there. Another thing that another panelist said is because, with regard to the expenditure in the education sector, which is NEP is saying, we want to make it 6%. And he has rightly pointed out, that we are not able to reap on the young generation. At present, Indian population is mostly the young generation. If they are not utilized for this economy, then what we always been saying, brain drain is going to happen. Our best minds are going to go out. And, we will be left with the average and the mediocre. If we don't, harness this, resource that we have, the manpower that we have. So we really have to think in terms of investment in education. If NEP is saying what they want, then the more serious thought has to be given with regard to investment in education. That is first thing I want to collaborate, whatever our panelists have said. Now coming back to the statement of our education minister. Now in an state, in an education sector, the education minister is at the apex, who is supposed to, take responsibility and, in policy matters with regard to education in the state. But if you look at the statement that has been made in education minister over a period of time, and if you have followed him, the education minister was once, who told that if our student doesn't go for this new education 4-year undergraduate program, which requires 4 years, and if you follow an old 3 years program, then our students have to wait for 1 year. Then only they will be able to do PG. If somebody at the helm of affair make this type of statement, I think the morning Professor Sukla read this comment, he must be calling up Professor Sungo and saying, look, we have got these people, don't worry, everything is going to go fine. And that is the opposition that you have to deal with, So today, in this forum, you are asking me to comment on his statement, where he's saying, according to his own statement, he said some 55 colleges were asked to give, and out of that, 33 said that we are not ready to implement NEP from this year. It is the same guy who comes and say, government has got nothing to do with this one. In yesterday's paper, he has said that 500 teachers have been appointed since the last 2 years to take up this policy. We were thinking about it. So I think, I need not, conclude this whole statement. Everybody is here, intelligent enough to draw their own conclusion.